What's up, you beauties? Welcome to High and Wide Hockey, episode 3 of season 8. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, I'm your host, Jim Eichbone, joined as always by the one and only Jack Smith. And as mentioned, if you're catching us live on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the alert, so you never miss a show. And for all the podcast listeners out there, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcast or Spotify so you're first in line when our newest episodes drop. Attention hockey fans and golf lovers, HW Hockey's just dropped the perfect blend of style and performance. Our brand new HW Hockey golf hats. Whether you're hitting the links or just repping your favorite hockey brand off the ice, these hats are designed for comfort, breathability, and that clean classic look. With the sleek fit and embroidered HW logo, you'll be turning heads while sinking putts. Don't miss out. Keep it high and wide all summer long before they're gone. Just Venmo at HW Hockey. Make sure to send over your mailing address so we can ship you your HW gear. Our lovely co-host, Jack, is wearing one of those hats, and you might notice a barcode at the top right corner of your screen. That is our Venmo. So if you guys have your phone out, if you're watching on a laptop or you're watching on TV, all you got to do is scan that barcode, and that'll take you straight to our Venmo account where you can purchase one of those lovely HW Hockey golf hats. Okay, Jack, it's the dead of summer, if you will, towards the end of July. There's been some Flyers news out there. We'll talk Porter Martone, of course. We've gotten through the forwards. We've gotten through the defense. We're going to talk some goaltending this week. But why don't we kick off the episode with the Martone stuff? And, you know, while people kind of slowly pour in here, because it is July, and things are just happening a little bit slower than they would be during the regular season. We're going to be doing something a little bit different for our episode tonight. We're going to do some Flyers trivia. It's going to be a new segment of our show. If it does well, we'll carry it into the season, but it's going to be something that we're going to try during the summer. And if that does well, Jack and I are discussing different fun little events that we can do on our show from here on out. But with no further ado, Jack, Porter Martone has chosen to sign and play for Michigan State University this upcoming season. What are your thoughts on that and, initial reactions?
Jim, I'm terrified. I mean, here we go again. It's night and day. It's the same situation. We're going to lose every first-round pick we get, particularly in the top 10. And Danny Briere has no idea what he's doing. And I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm scared. I'm never going to see a Stanley Cup. Not actually. No, I think this actually makes a lot of sense. I believe both sides have had perfect communication with each other. This is a draft pick of Danny's. The two camps, I'm sure, talked about this a lot and all the ramifications based on who is going into camp, who makes the most sense to make camp, what could happen to Martone if he were to forego the college route because you have to enroll. Like we were looking at every possible look around last week, and I don't even know if you can do this, but pretty much the only thing I thought was possible was to not play for the beginning part of the first semester, essentially, to re-enroll in the next semester, which you could do, and then he could play then. That is probably the best scenario that makes sense that could work, which I'm not even sure is 100% allowed for Martone to join a college team. We don't want him going to the CHL. There's nothing left for him to do there. He's had a really good season, and he had a season where he absolutely dominated last year. Makes no sense for him to go back there. And unfortunately, at this time, he can't go to the AHL. So instead of forcing him onto your team, he may very well been able to make it or whatnot. But so I got a comment there. Yeah, I mean, this guy was born a Flyers fan. He was born to be a Flyers fan, unlike the other guy. I think everything makes sense. I think it would have been nice, but like coming into this draft, we were already told like maybe one or two guys are NHL ready, and those one or two guys were Schaefer and Misa. It's not a big deal if Martone doesn't make the team. He looked good in development camp, but he didn't look great. He didn't stand out. He actually was struggling to finish on his shots and score goals. So I think it's the right move. It's a smart move. It makes the most sense. Let him go play in a tougher league, maybe win a national championship. Penn State versus Michigan State. Book it. And and we'll bring him into the fold next year when it makes more sense. You got Bump, Luchenko, other guys trying to make the team as it is. Forrester's going to come back from injury. It's not the end of the world. It makes sense. It just makes too much sense. I saw the Cutter stuff and it made me laugh. It made me laugh. It's like this guy is so rent free in most Flyers fans' heads that we can't have anything nice, and every draft pick is saying, "I'm on goal. I'm going to go do what I want." Ridiculous.
Did you really see people doing the Cutter stuff? What were you seeing?
All over Twitter. I hate to throw him out because I like the guy, but good old Purgatory. Flyers Purgatory is one of them. And yeah, a lot of if I had to guess by their pictures on their handle, a lot of younger crowd, this is it. They don't know how to handle prospects. They immediately took this as a sign because he's not even going to play in camp. He can't. The college semester starts. He maybe can make the first couple of, sessions, but then he's got to go to college. So he can't, there's no way to make it make sense where he can try for the team and still go to college in a timely fashion. He's got to go. And he's like, the odds of you making it are not very high, not because of you or anything, where our team makeup is. And we would kind of like you this season for 1 year anyway. Get bigger, get stronger, play against men, or older than juniors for sure. The NCAA is getting ridiculous now compared to and make some money on top of that. He's going to get paid to play at Michigan State. I mean, how could you be upset about this? Cutter just messed with people, something fierce, much like the season 2 years ago had people thinking that this team was actually good. It's like, no, we're not there yet. Like, don't be fooled by this. It's okay. I remember JVR wanting to do this when he was drafted, and I was mad at him. I was like, seriously, you're the second overall pick. You need to go when they tell you to go. And now I'm like, no, please stay in college. Like, take a year, get bigger. I don't want you to get hurt, anything like that. He's already a big boy. Get bigger, get even bigger. Make sure you're definitely NHL ready. So when you do come here, you are 100% staying here, and there's no BS coming from fans, media, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with this decision. It's pretty typical. Makes sense. I don't understand the blow up. I think it's some people are just so against the front office. If there's even a chance at something they could take and run with, they're going to do it. And this is it, especially the way it was reported. We're out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, he's going to go to college and no camp or anything.
Yeah, that's it's par for the course, I guess, for people to overreact on Twitter and whatnot. I guess from my perspective, first on Porter Martone, this is what I wanted all along for Martone, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this with all the changes in the CHL and NCAA and NHL and even AHL now. We're going to see a lot more of these guys go in the college route. And in this particular situation, I think it's a good thing. You mentioned it. You mentioned a lot of the reasons why. He's already a big kid. Competition's look. I don't know if I can sit here and say the competition. It'll be tougher in the sense that he's playing against grown men, and he's not going to be able to just kind of bully his way around. 16, 17-year-olds, underdeveloped guys, underdeveloped kids. He's going to be going up against 20-year-old guys, 21-year-old guys, and a lot of these players, this is all they got. So they're giving it everything every time they're out there. I think that it's going to be a challenge. Let him play out the NCAA season, and then next year, let's see if he can crack the AHL or the NHL, something like that. I really like the decision. It would have been cool to see him go to Penn State, play with McKenna over there.
That goes with this question right here, Jim. So I'll pull it up.
Go ahead. You want to read it?
It just says, "Are you guys from Ted E? Are you guys disappointed Martone won't be playing with McKenna at Penn State?" And I am a little bit more so because it's Penn State. That was my main thing. And we got a buddy that's a massive Penn State fan, so it would have been cool. I was like, if he goes to Penn State, I'm getting everybody jerseys. But unfortunately, he's going to Michigan. He's going to Michigan State. So hey, good final to look forward to.
Yeah, and Michigan State's no slouch of a program either. Flyers picked up
absolutely
Carson Dorwart last year. They drafted Shane Van Saggy from Michigan State, and we didn't really put that together. I guess when they drafted Van Saggy, what if Martone goes to Michigan State? Now you got two Flyers prospects as teammates, developing together, things like that. And who knows, Van Saggy might push to make the roster in the next couple years, 2-3 years.
That'd be amazing. But they're a good team. Like Trey Augustine is like one of the best goaltending prospects in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know he's not a Flyers prospect, but like he's on that team. Like it's going to be good. I like how college hockey is turning into this thing now with the money and all. It's like I had a great time last year following the tournament. It's going to be even better this year.
Yeah, for sure. And so now at the college program, he's going to be on a college workout regimen, a college nutrition regimen. Like they're eating. They have meal plans now, and he's gonna grow into his body, right? He's gonna grow into his man body a little bit. Whereas if he was tall and his frame wasn't necessarily filled out, kind of thing, next year he's gonna come into camp ripped. Like that. That's what's gonna happen. So
especially because he knows like, okay, last year made sense. Maybe I wasn't the best at development camp. I may have been tired from the whole draft process and all that. I'm a year older now. I'm even bigger. There's really no excuse for me not to make the team if I was considering it last year. There's going to be a chip on his shoulder. And like even more reason to drive for him to really show us what he's got and make the team and stay on the team consistently. And it's every sign for me, as long as he's got a normal brain in his head, which most players do, this makes sense on multiple levels.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I'm not going to compare. I am going to compare my experience to Porter Martone's. When I was in college, the difference between high school or even wasn't travel, but I'm going to call it travel soccer, whatever it was. The difference in physicality and the competition was leaps and bounds. One day, you're going against, like I said, underdeveloped kids. And then the next day you're hit like a brick wall by a 20. And when you're 18, 19, and you're playing against a 21, 22-year-old, a developed 21, 22-year-old, there's a massive difference. It's kind of like a shock. So it's just, instead of throwing him to the Sharks in the NHL, he kind of gets his feet wet a little bit and he gets to slowly adapt. And I don't see any downside of this whatsoever.
No, I totally agree.
So, yeah, good stuff there. Porter Martone heading to Michigan State. Jack, before we get our guest on, who is waiting in the wings, let's kind of talk Flyers goalies a little bit. It's the main topic of our episode. As I mentioned, we did the forwards. We went through the defense last week. Flyers did sign Darth Vladar or Dan Vladar. And everyone's kind of like, all right, a nice maybe stopgap or a plug and play guy. And I'm not so sure that we can say that he's going to be that guy, especially with the Flyers roster in front of him. Yeah, we have Sam Ersson still. And maybe, if Vladar can even look, Fedotov and Kolosov last year, they weren't it. Right? I don't think they allowed Ersson the opportunity to play well. And look, this is not letting Ersson off the hook either, because Ersson had his chance to say, this is my crease and maybe solve things for the next 2-3 years. And he didn't do that. And so I'm just saying, I don't know that Vladar is going to come in and be that guy. What do you think, Jack?
There's like outside hope that maybe his situation in Calgary, that was a team in transition. They're trading Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Hockey, may rest in peace, walks in free agency. They're locked in on a lot of long-term contracts that weren't looking like they were going to pan out. Since then, they've made a lot of changes and whatnot. But in one of those changes was their new goalie now, who finished third in the voting, whose name escapes me at this time. Dustin Wolf, sorry. And it's like I remember Vladar in like 21, 22-ish. I remember him being pretty solid, even a backup role. But after that, I don't remember hearing a whole lot about him, almost forgot about him. And looking at his stats here, it's like he actually was drafted by Boston, but he was traded to Calgary. His first rookie season, he had 23 games there with a save percentage of .906. Like, that's great. Okay. 2 shutouts, like, from pretty much a rookie, that's great. After that, the save percentage, I don't want to say plummets, but definitely takes a dip. 895, followed by 882 in 23-24. And this past season almost hit the 900 mark at 898. And this is the most games he's played in a season this past year at 30. So I'm hoping that there's maybe something there and he just needs the runway. But I don't know how much our team in front of him is going to help him there. But at least it's a guy that can theoretically and part of this interview I heard with him as well is like he wants to compete. He wanted to come here. There's an opportunity to be the number one, and he seized it, at least got himself here to attempt. It's like that to me at its core, it is so much better than, and I think he's the talent to play in the NHL, where I think Fedotov may have had that mindset, but didn't have the talent to play in the NHL. And Kolosov's a whole nother woof. And Erson we all like, but like it really seems like he can't handle the workload. So when it comes to Vladar, it's like, okay, maybe this is a guy who got unfortunately, a little bit of a bad rap in Calgary, a team in transition, and a stud goalie coming out of nowhere. It's not like he was a top pick or anything, Dustin Wolf, and just takes over. He was like, look, I understand what's going on. I need to move on and try to assert myself. He's young enough to do so. Do I expect it to happen? No, probably not. Okay, so easy. I don't think this is going to happen, but at least there's a guy in here who's not like, get us to the next year. You're slightly better than the other two guys. There's an opportunity here, and we could see something happen. Probably won't, but the fact that the right player's in the right position at the right age for something like this to go along with Erson, that's probably the most positive I can be about it. That and his save percentage still puts him ahead of the other three goalies. But other than that, based on what we have to go by, the stats and whatnot, it's looking like it may be another tough season. I don't think it's going to be as bad as last year goaltending. I don't think there's going to be games where they give up 4 goals in the first period and they're pulling guys left and right. I think there's going to be a little more stability as long as people don't get hurt. But that doesn't mean they're going to win games either. So there's some to like, but there's a lot of, this isn't the answer. Let's get us to Zavragan. And I'm going to try to hope for the best, hope there's some kind of potential wrapped up in there somewhere that needs to come out. And we've seen stranger things happen, but, the market dried up before we even got to it. And the one guy they were depending on re-signed for a stupid deal. So here we are.
I like Dan's comment here. And Dan, do you have a logo there? Is that what I see? DK?
That's Donkey Kong's logo. I've seen that before.
Huh.
No, I'm only kidding.
Dan says Vladar was great until Frost and Farabee came along.
Correlation.
And
there you go.
Just while we're on that topic real quick, Joel Farabee, Jack, this isn't going to be a trivia question, but after he was traded to Calgary last year in 31 games, do you want to know how many goals and assists he had in those 31 games?
Let me guess.
If you had to guess, yeah.
2 goals, 6 assists.
So very close.
Oh.
And that's terrible, though, that you were close to that.
What was it?
3 goals in 31 games to go along with 3 assists.
Ooh. I even gave him more points. Jesus. Or no,
that's insane to me. Remember the first half that he had, I guess 2 seasons ago now, and we were like, oh, Farabee's really starting to get it. And then he just dropped off a cliff. In 81 total games last year, 11 goals and 14 assists. That's insane.
Making over $5 million. I get the trade. The trade makes sense. I mean, we understood it at the time, but it makes sense even more when you kind of see he's really kind of,
what happened?
Maybe we pulled the plug. Well, look, we didn't get anything for him, but at least we're not giving up anything to get rid of him either. We want that cap space. So there you go. So, that's interesting. Do you have Frost stats up by any chance?
Frost in 32 games, 3 goals and 9 assists. So slightly better. Still
amazing.
Still pretty bad. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's rough.
I'm glad I liked Farabee. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it wasn't there. Frost, I'm just glad we don't have to talk about it anymore.
If you're a Flames fan and you traded for Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee, because I think Flames fans and Flyers fans might be the same at this point, in that their franchise is just always sort of in the middle with things, every year they're like, we could just make a push for the playoffs and they just never get in. If you're a Flames fan and you trade for Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost, now their initial reaction was kind of excited, like, oh, maybe these guys just need a fresh start. If you're looking back now and through 63 combined games, Farabee and Frost combined for 6 goals and 12 assists in that span. How could you not have sort of soured a little bit heading into next year? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just be curious to see what Flames fans are thinking now about that deal.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably optimistic about Frost still because they re-signed him at a number that they were comfortable with, and he's a center, and he was the more productive one. But even them, you'd think they'd be a little, Farabee's got to be a little worrisome because it's like, man, that contract, how many more years is that? Like, hopefully he finds his footing when you get traded. It's a whole thing. Maybe they can figure it. They're probably still slightly optimistic this year, cautiously optimistic, I should say, with Farabee. And, I guess we'll kind of see how the season goes. But I think they're going to get a whole lot of what we're used to. And, they're similar to us, and there's not a whole lot of stability. Not their own fault, with the whole, Kachuk wanting out, and they basically pulled the plug on trading him because might as well get something for him. And, Johnny Hockey walking. So they've had to kind of move things, shuffle the deck and figure things out. And part of that was acquiring Frost and Farabee. And you got to look, and they didn't give up a whole lot either, but you have to look at that and be like, yeah, nah, really like we were taking a gamble, but we were really hoping that Frost or Farabee rather his contract wouldn't be really dragging us down. So I'm sure it's cautiously optimistic this year, but if he's bad again, wait till you see the hate. Wait, it's going to come flooding through.
They re-upped Frost for 2 years, $4.375 million. It's only a 2-year deal, but we know all about the 2-year deals with Frost, and it's maybe it works out for them out there. I don't know.
Another one.
I just happened to see that stat the other day for Farabee, and I figured we could talk about it a little bit. So, but okay, let's get back to and I do want to read Peter's PTW's comment there. You're you get the 3 initials, Peter. G said Farabee would break G's records, and I think back to that sometimes, and I'm like, how much of that was G being a dick before he left?
No, he did. He broke healthy scratches. He definitely passed Giroux.
I think back and I'm like, man, what a dick. Like that's what you're parting with, at the same time, it's kind of
like
funny.
how it came through his garage.
Yeah.
G said garage.
Yeah.
Because that's more like what he is.
Shadow comments, we won't even remember these two in another 2 years.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Some people might. You're not allowed to say any bad things about Farabee and Frost, especially right after the trade.
Heaven forbid.
I'm sure those people will know. But
heaven forbid.
Back to the Flyers goaltending for a little bit here before we start a brand new segment, Flyers trivia segment. If you guys didn't see, Jack and I have discussed it for a few weeks now, and I kind of sprung it last minute. And we do have a special guest, a longtime viewer, listener. We're excited to have on. We'll bring him on in just a few minutes. But back to the Flyers goaltending. So it looks like the Flyers are going to start the year with Urson and Vladar. And I'm going to assume, Jack, that they're going to battle it out to see who the starter's going to be. Look, Urson's been here, but in my opinion, he's done anything but earn the right to be the bona fide hands down starting goalie heading into next season. Right? He fell apart 2 years ago, which you can blame the coach or whatever if you want. Last year they bring in 2 guys, not 1, 2 guys to back him up, and they were insufficient. Urson wasn't good himself, so now we head into the 3rd year of Urson potentially being the guy. And I'm not as confident as I was last year. I still am an Urson fan. I'm rooting for him. I like him as a person. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I don't have the same confidence, though, Jack, that he's the guy. And I think Dan Knightley said something positive about Vladar here in the chat. Where did it go? About Vladar battling with Swayman in Boston here. Yeah, so that wasn't that long ago. And I think Vladar was sought after somewhat. 1 year. I can't remember if Calgary traded for him or signed him.
They did trade for him.
They traded for him. Yeah. So maybe he's got it in him and he just needs that opportunity. And look, Philadelphia's become that place. If you want to revive your career, you can do it in Philadelphia. There's opportunity to do that here.
That's all I was saying. I like that he chose the opportunity.
Yeah.
You chase the money. He got a second year out of us, which we're all not kind of happy about. But, he's chasing the opportunity. That's the only positive I'm saying about this. Like, he's young enough. He's chasing the opportunity. Yes, I ultimately don't think he's going to be the guy moving forward. But I'd rather do that than like a 40-year-old, both avenues probably just get us to the next guy. But at least there's a smidgen of a chance you might find lightning in a bottle or something.
Yeah. And we'll see.
Let me just address this real quick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Hart could be available. Correct. And I'm sorry. I know I was told something. I don't think it's going to be true. I think that Hart is going to wind up in Edmonton, and my bowling team is dead.
God damn it.
Makes too much sense.
That's all I really care about is the bowling team. Flyers, man.
I mean, hey, I meet a lot of good people on a bowling. I mean, come on.
Hart and Vladar and trade Urson for pick. Hey, now we're talking some fantasy hockey here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Speaking of fantasy hockey, Jack, I made my first offseason trade in another dynasty league.
I was going to say, what? Your league's open?
Yeah, I moved on from Mark Scheifele, and I got Tyson Forster in the return. I got Trey Augustine, who you'd mentioned earlier in the show. And I think 2 first-round picks.
Wait, what was the full trade again?
2 firsts, Tyson Forster, Trey Augustine from Mark Scheifele. I think I maybe gave up a second.
How many years is Scheifele signed for?
Till he dies. I mean, till he retires.
Oh, you have him.
I didn't mean to say dies. God forbid.
I know what you meant. You have him forever?
Forever, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing I don't really like about
that. Makes you feel a little bit better about the trade on the other end, but I still like yours. I mean, the potential you have is wild.
Yeah.
Is it in this year's draft or next?
That'll be for this year's draft. This year. Actually, it's next year and the year after.
Okay. 26, 27.
Yeah.
All right. Is this guy's team any good, or is he going to tank and you got McKenna?
Oh, he's got an up and coming team. You know what? If we have time at the end of the show, because I don't want to keep our guests waiting anymore, I'll put it on the screen here, and maybe we can grill me or we can, give me the pat on the back here. I like Dan's idea. Yeah. All right. Let's bring him in. Cliff, are you ready back there? Thumbs up. All right. Here we go. We're going to bring in Cliff. This is going to be our first trivia segment. Cliff, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Jimmy.
Cliff, how are you, sir?
Cliff, I'm good, Jack. Nice to be on with you guys.
Excellent.
Oh, God damn it. I think it's my mic.
What happened?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Something's going on with Jimmy over here.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah, he'll come back, and I'm sure he'll say we had this right before the start of the show. You might have actually seen it. He was fighting with his mic. He'll be back.
Well, it's all high-tech stuff, so.
Jack, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I can't
hear you, Jimmy.
He can't hear us.
Hang on.
Oh, no, right at the start.
All right, can you hear me now? I can hear you.
I hear you.
All right, sorry, guys. Oh, brand new segment, and Jim's mic gives out. Who would have guessed? All right, Cliff, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on finally, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Yeah, I got a little scared.
Glad to be here.
A little jolt to the system, but okay. So we're gonna get into some trivia tonight.
Let's do it.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Might as well.
So we didn't really give you any time to brush up there, Cliff. Where's my questions?
Are you gonna let Cliff answer first, Jim?
Yeah, we can do that.
Be respectful to our guests.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll throw up a softball question for you, Cliff, to get things. We'll warm up slowly here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. First question of the new segment, and if you're watching in the comments, wait for Cliff to answer, please.
Yeah, please.
Maybe in the future
I didn't even think about that.
We could do a phone a friend. Or ask the audience, anyway, one of those things. Yeah. But we didn't really think about all that yet. All right. First question.
Off season.
Yeah. How many Stanley Cups have the Flyers won in there?
Oh, jeez, you guys. There's only been 2, and I was 8 and 9 when it happened.
Wow. At least you got to see him, Cliff.
That's what got me to be a Flyer fan.
Can you take us back a little bit?
I was becoming a hockey fan, and I saw games on Hockey Night in Canada for years. And then that year, they were the underdogs. Everybody hated them. And I thought, hey, these guys are pretty cool. Why do they hate the Flyers? I'm going to cheer for them. And I knew a kid that was a Bruins fan. And Philly beat the Bruins and Bobby Orr. So that cinched it.
Huh.
Oh, beautiful.
Then they won 2.
They ran it back. I love it.
Yep.
Were there
Almost had 3.
Oh,
Were
If
there
Bernie
any-
wouldn't have got hurt,
big what if right there.
if Bernie didn't hurt his eye that year, they might have won 3.
Bernie and McLeish, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Jack, I'm
Love it.
actually a little worried. I think Cliff might be a formidable opponent here for segment
Good.
1.
I don't want this to be a
That
softball.
was a lob though. That was an easy one.
Yeah,
I know,
were-
but we got some good intel out of you there, and I don't think Cliff's the real deal here, Jack. I don't know.
Good. Bring it on.
All right, let's move on to Jack's question. Return serve here. Jack, so we'll do the same thing. Which player holds the record for points in a single season for the Philadelphia Flyers?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked me that, Jim. I'm going to go with what is Mark Recchi?
Wow, you guys are good. 1-1 right off the bat.
He beat Clarkey by about 8 points, didn't he?
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's
Clarkey had
good.
119, and I think Recky's was 127.
123. But
123.
yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, those were the days where I think Jack and I really fell in love with the Flyers, with the Leclercs and the Reckies and the Lindrosses all back then.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Better days. 2 Stanley Cups and a 123-point regular season. Who would have thought? Okay, Cliff, are you
All right.
ready for your second question?
Bring it on.
Who is the all-time leader in games played for the Philadelphia Flyers?
That'd have to be Bobby Clark.
That was right in your wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
Do you know the number of games? This is a
I'm going to say he has 1,210 points, I think. So, or is that his games? Something around 1,200. 11 something, 1,200.
you're pretty bang on there. 1,100. Hang on, let me just make sure here. 1,144 games. 1,210 points.
Yes. Okay. I knew the points. Yeah. 352 goals,
That's a full.
858 assists.
Absolute
Something like
beast.
that.
God damn.
Yeah. Must have been nice to be able to watch that night in and night out, year after year.
Hey, if we would have had Sportsnet and all that games every night, I never probably would have passed any school courses because I would have just watched hockey every night. That's all I would have done.
So let me ask you a
Yeah, we're
question.
spoiled.
I found that there's a pretty good Flyers following from Canadians. A lot of Canadians are Flyers fans up there. Is that the case?
Well, I grew up on the East Coast in New Brunswick, and we only got Hockey Night in Canada. So it was Leafs and Habs, and there was a smattering of Bruins fans because it was closer. The closest place to go to a game, other than Montreal, was Boston. So there was a lot of Bruins fans, and then there was old school Red Wings fans. But Philly was the best expansion team. And to be honest, of my friends, there wasn't a lot. But now that I'm in Ontario and I'm in an old timers hockey league, there's a few guys, and we're a little bit of the outcast, as my wife just said, of the league. But we're all hardcore and we're all intellectual Flyers fans because we're not just the guy that jumps out of the stands onto Ty Domi. We're not those guys. That's okay. That was great, but that's not what we are. But there is, I don't know about now. Like, I mean, a lot of teams have fans from New Jersey sales and stuff like that. But I mean, we have our devout fan base. I have a lot of internet friends I know from over the years. We keep in touch and we talk about it. But we were definitely behind the 8 ball back then in the 70s.
That's good stuff, Cliff. Thank you for that.
Number 70s questions, Jim.
80s are good too.
Oh,
All right,
God.
let's see what we got. What's next on our list? Jack is up here. Bottom of the second. Okay, Jack, are you ready?
Hit me, Jimmy.
Which Flyer has the record for most points as a rookie?
As a rookie, Michael Renberg.
Let me look up the answer for this.
Could be Lindros, but I'm going with Renberg.
I probably should have had that answer ready for when I asked that question. Correct. We're 2-2.
Okay.
All right, no more softball questions here, boys. You
Let's
ready?
go. I would have
Legion
said
of Doom,
Lindros.
by the way.
Lindros. I would have said Lindros.
It was one or the other.
It was one or the other. Yep.
Eh.
Okay, let's move on here. Top of the third. Hang on, boys. Let me get my questions back up. Here we are. All right. Cliff, who did the Flyers select in the first round of the 2016 NHL draft? We'll give you 10 seconds.
2016. That's the Matthews draft.
That's correct.
Before Hart. No. It's not the Patrick draft.
We'll give you 5 seconds.
2016. Rubistov?
Oh my God, at the buzzer.
At the buzzer. What a pull.
Because it was such a bad pick.
Yeah.
I knew it was in between the 15 and 17. And I was like, oh.
The germ. Do you remember that they traded back and then made that pick?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they actually in the first round they traded back a little bit. But great pull at the buzzer, my God.
But also too, didn't he play in
Russia,
Quebec League like
Eddie
Bathurst?
Hang on.
You talking about the germ?
Yeah.
I know after we drafted him, he was in the KHL on like the fourth line. He kept hurting his wrist. It was a whole saga with the germ.
Yeah, that would be correct. Also played for Chicoutimi.
Okay, because I worked a season in the Q, and I remember thinking, okay, that's a good hockey city. That's he should be good, and then he was garbage.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh.
Look at that connection there. Jeez.
Yeah,
I thought I had him on one there, Jim.
Yeah, Chicoutimi and Bathurst he played for.
Yes, he did. Okay, he did play maybe after that. Yeah.
And then that
which is like an hour from my hometown.
Oh, get out. That's something I'm a little jealous of up there because you guys can pretty much go watch a good hockey game any night of the week. Good hockey's not too far away from you guys. Where if we want to go watch a minor league game or something, like I don't know if this is well known, but like there's no colleges that are really known for hockey near South Jersey. You're really close to Philadelphia. Like no one's going to Temple to watch a hockey game, right, Jack?
Yeah, I know. Nope. Yeah. I mean, around here, there was a lot of American League stuff. Now the whole East Coast, I don't live there now, but the whole East Coast is the Quebec Maritime Junior League. So there's hockey everywhere for that if you want to see guys coming up. But I was thinking about that today about why isn't Philadelphia and Jersey a bigger hockey mecca for guys coming up? Like there's all kinds of kids coming up from St. Louis Blues and all these guys that played, Canadians that played there and then lived there. And I mean, Johnny Hockey, obviously, but he wasn't the product of a former NHLer. And it's just like, where do you go? Where do you go to see games? I don't know. Like around here, we can see Brantford Bulldogs, the Kitchener Rangers, the Guelph Storm, all that stuff. I'm hoping to see Lutsenko this year for sure, live.
Oh, there you go. I know that Jimmy Dowd, former Flyers, is doing a lot of good stuff in North Jersey. And, it's such a shame what happened with the Gaudreaus because, could you imagine what they would have done in South Jersey, potentially after their careers were done. It's just so much, was cut short far, far too soon there. It's really a damn shame.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on a little bit here. Jack, I believe you're up.
All right, Jimmy, hit me.
All right. Let's see if we can stump him, Cliff. Okay. So we'll go back to Mark Recchi here. In that trade, when the Flyers traded Mark Recchi to Montreal for John LeClair and Eric Desjardins, who was the actual centerpiece of that deal?
I know this one. I I don't remember what position he played. I believe he was a forward, but Gilbert Dion was the centerpiece of that deal, who ended up being nothing. But yes, everybody else was apparently a throw-in. So yes. I've never seen him play, and I learned that years later. But apparently, Leclerc and Desjardins were not what they were after.
I'm looking this up here. Dion did not even score a goal with the Flyers.
Jeez.
How many did you get with Montreal?
Did you get to watch a lot of Gilbert Dion back in the day?
I saw a little bit of. I knew who he was, but I never thought of him as the centerpiece. That's surprising that he was thought that way, because he was a good player in the queue.
I think because he was young, I guess.
Gilbert.
20 goals, 20-goal seasons with Montreal.
Okay, so he wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't.
Maybe he was the youngest of the. But Leclerc did come off of scoring like 2 overtime goals in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think even they rated Desjardins higher than Leclerc. So, but from what I understand, Dion was their guy.
Probably the best trade in Flyer history.
They could use one of those
to
now.
Find a better one.
So here's something. Growing up watching Eric Desjardins, he was always kind of the guy that I kind of like to rag on. And I know if you guys want to bust my balls for that, you can. But I always used to be like, man, this guy can't hit the net. And then it's kind of one of those things where you look back and it's like, I was young, number one. But it's like, man, I really didn't appreciate that guy while he was here. He was a cornerstone pillar of that team for a long, long time, over a decade.
I'm the opposite, Jim. I would defend Desjardins. I put it on Therrien. I mean, I'd be like, what's he doing with him as his partner? Although Therrien did shut down Yager out of nowhere. But like, other than that, I was like, what is he doing dragging this guy around? I hope Terry doesn't hear this. But, I love Desjardins. Like,
that was the perfect pairing.
Right. It worked out, right? Yeah. And that's what we were talking about with the defense last week. Like, sometimes you find the perfect mix. You look at Chris Therrien, is he a number one defenseman or a top pairing defenseman? Of course not. But you find the perfect pairing and you make it work. And I definitely remember that. But the only time I was ever mad at Desjardins was after the 2005 lockout. There was they played Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs, and he missed a wide open net. I don't know if it was either late in the third or overtime, but that was the only time I was ever mad at him. Only time ever. That, I just remember him he was the captain, and all of a sudden Keith Primo was the captain. Like, that's the only scratch my head moments with Desjardins. Other than that, absolutely.
Well, he was quietly a member of Team Canada's teams as an underrated guy. Like, there's all the superstars, and there's Desjardins playing in All-Star games and Team Canada and stuff. He was awesome.
Yeah, loved him.
All right, boys, I'm fishing for our next question here. Okay, Cliff, 2 more questions apiece. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Which Flyers head coach was behind the bench for their infamous 5-overtime playoff win against the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Oh, I was at university, or I was living in Fredericton at the time. Oh my goodness! I think you got me. 80.
We'll give you 10 seconds here. Take your time, but hurry up.
89. Was it 89 or 88? Yeah, what year is it?
The coach.
No, what year was it? The coach. I'm going to throw it at Hitchcock.
Oh, valiant guess. I'm sorry, I lost my answer sheet here. I am showing Craig Ramsey.
That was good. That was going to be my guess.
He didn't coach a long time either, so
back then I was all about them firing coaches. They were firing them left and right. They were going to Eastern Conference Finals. Like, you're out of here. Like, those are the days.
A good question.
Sorry,
you got me on that one.
I think Hitchcock might have been like a couple years later, like pretty close.
I remember I listened to it on the radio and I fell asleep, and then the next day I was like, who can stay up for that late of a game, right? So
I think it was 11.
Hitchcock was coach from 2003 to 2007. And Craig Ramsey was. Did Craig Ramsey get sick, or was that Roger Nielsen?
Nielsen.
I was Nielsen. Yeah,
that's right.
And did Bill Barber coach after Ramsey?
Bill Barber was right after Craig Ramsey. Yep.
He only coached a year though, didn't he? 2 years.
Yeah. 2 would be the most. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go back and look at some of the coaches the Flyers have had, I mean, they really went through some guys.
Yeah.
God bless Mr. Snyder, but he was
Yeah.
not a patient man.
No, but see, back then they actually had the players. You know, they
Yeah.
needed goaltending help, but they had the players, so it made sense. They were like they'd finish well, they'd have a playoff run, and they just couldn't break through. So you typically let go of the coach. That's why I argue today. I'm like they're not there yet. Like relax. You know, back then, sure, it was a Wild West.
Yeah. Okay. Jack, this is your chance to take your first lead of the night. Let me get our questions up here.
Oh, baby.
All right. So let's get a tough one here for you. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
Who scored the game-winning goal in overtime of Game 4 of the 1997 Eastern Conference Finals to send the Flyers to the Stanley Cup? This is a tough one. At least I thought it was a tough one.
Was it overtime or an empty net?
Was it an empty net?
I thought it was an empty net to seal it.
Oh, God.
Which would be Eric
I gotta
Lindros.
fact-check
I
myself here.
vividly remember
Game 4, 1997. Hang on.
Game 4. I don't think we swept them. Are you talking about 95?
Do I have the wrong question?
I'm not sure.
96? Yeah, let me do
96?
a different question here, boys. All right, next question. Let me do a redo.
Flag on the play, baby.
All right. All right, here we go. Ready? Which former Flyers captain is the franchise's all-time assist leader? I meant to leave one word out of that sentence. So I hope I didn't give it away.
Former captain, assist leader.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think I gave it away with the captain there. I'm sorry.
Is it Claude Giroux?
Yeah. I see.
I mean, Bobby Clark would have been the other suggestion. He's the former captain as well.
Yeah, I feel like I really gave that away. Cliff, I owe you a question here.
See how he does with this next one, and then we'll figure something out.
All right. All right. In the 1985 Stanley Cup Final, the Flyers lost to which team?
The Edmonton Oilers.
Damn. Yeah, you're correct.
It wasn't as much fun as the 87 one when they went to 7. But that was the Lindbergh years.
And doesn't it feel like every time the Flyers get to the Stanley Cup, they're just facing a powerhouse like the Dynasty
They did.
era?
Every single loss, they faced the Dynasty. Every single one.
The Red Wings, the Blackhawks, the
Islanders.
The Islanders.
The Islanders.
Montreal
I live in
Canadiens.
Leaf country, and all my Leaf fans tease the hell out of me. I go, when's the last time you made the finals? Oh, you guys suck. You never. Well, okay, we lost the Islanders, the Oilers twice, the Red Wings, then the Blackhawks.
The Canadians too in the late 70s. I mean, they won 3 or 4 in a row.
76. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right, we need one more question here. Is it one more piece, or is this the last question if Jack gets this right?
I think he's got it. Oh, yeah, he got it right.
I think I got 4 out of 5, I think.
Yeah, I think I got 4.
All right, here we go.
4 out of 3 because Jimmy gave you a curveball.
Yeah.
Okay. I need one more question here for Jack. I'm trying to look for a tough one for you, Jack.
Take your time, Jimmy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have some of these. I'm like, yeah, a lot of these are a little easy, and I can't give you a layup. All right, let's do a draft question. How about that?
Yeah, I love the draft.
All right.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a shot at this question here. This will be for fun.
Oh, so we got one in the chat.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. What Flyer in 1998 has face bloodied every game for 2 weeks? I'm gonna go 98. Sandy McCarthy. That's my guess.
98. Who's the guy they got from San Jose? I think this was after the lockout.
After the lockout,
When was the first big lockout? When they went out
2005.
okay, they went out and got
There was
Hatcher.
the partial one in 95, 94, 95.
Yeah, there was this half season then.
They had a 48-game season, yeah.
And the full one was like 04, 05.
Did you get the answer to that question?
Not yet. It was from the chat.
I know this is before Mike Rathje's time, but I swear every time I looked up, that guy's nose was like broken or
He was definitely after the lockout. Rathje. Yeah, that's the shark you're talking about. Yeah, that was definitely after the lockout. Luke Richardson's the answer. Almost assistant head coach.
All right, here we go. Ready, Jack?
Sure thing.
In the 2018 NHL draft, who was the Flyers' first round pick?
2018.
And I'll give you.
Wait, there were
seconds.
2 first round picks.
Oh,
It would have been Joel Farabee and Jay O'Brien.
wow! I forgot about Jay O'Brien.
That was the first year
Somehow.
of our podcast, by the way.
I remember we were watching that. Where was that when you and Rob lived together or something?
In Blackwood. We were in Blackwood. Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, Joel Farabee, nice pick. And then we were all like, Jay O'Brien. Who the hell is Jay O'Brien?
Yes.
And
He's not even playing anywhere now.
Nope. And you know who was? I think Keandre Miller was still available.
Sure was. Yeah, Keandre Miller, Nils Lundqvist was out there, Rasmus Sandin, Joe Veleno, who's starting to bounce around a little bit. I think he just signed in Montreal.
I believe we took Adam Ginning in the second round.
Yep. Still waiting for him.
Is he even still with the Phantoms, or did he go back?
He is. It was the other guy that got moved to Edmonton, the other defenseman.
Oh, Adder. I
Definitely
feel
not
like Jennings
Attard.
is starting to be skipped over a little bit. Like we're all talking about Helge Grans, and everyone's kind of forgetting about Adam Jennings.
Well, stock wise, the Grans is going up, and the other guy is going down.
Down. Okay. Is that 5 questions apiece? Are we keeping track here? Let me get back to my screen. What happened with our screen? Is this just how we look?
Yeah. Let me see if I can fix it. There you go.
Oh, there we are.
Hey, yo.
All right. I think that's the end of our first segment. Cliff, we'll have to have you back on for a rematch, but
We do, because I want to get in some 80s questions. 70s, he might smoke me. We'll see. We'll see. But 80s, my dad really kept me up to date on the 80s. We'll see.
I think that would be a lot of fun to do, like themed trivia.
Yeah,
themed
that's a
shows.
good idea. But Cliff, you know your stuff. There's no doubt.
I think if we would have just done strictly 70s and 80s, it might have gave you like a real run there, Jack. Like he was on his game tonight, Cliff. For our first trivia guest.
Yeah,
we hit it out of the ballpark tonight.
I thought
Cliff.
I was supposed to get like a toddler or something. What's going on here?
No, I'm pushing 60, boys. There's no toddler here.
Well, I was kind of like, shit, I only got 10 questions here, 5 apiece. I need to scramble a little bit. We might have to go to extra innings.
We're going to have to bring 50 questions next time we go head to head.
Oh, jeez. A whole pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I rely on some of my, like, when I was young and beyond. So when you bring in somebody who's 60, I'm at a little bit of a run for my money. All right. I snuck by, though, Jim. Thank God. Thanks for the Craig Ramsey question. Thank God.
You got me on that.
Admittedly, I'm not the best at trivia. That's why Jack is our tribute here for the trivia. I would get my ass whooped every show. So Jack is our champion. Cliff, you were an honorable first guest for this. We want to thank you for taking the time to come on. Thank you for hanging out with us pretty much every week.
Yes.
Great show.
Thank you. And we'd love
Thank
to
you
have you
so
back
much.
on if you're up for it.
Great being fans with you guys.
Thank you.
Sure is, Cliff. Thank you. So we'll let you go. And
Cheers,
I'm
guys.
sure we'll talk soon. Take
We
care,
will.
Cliff.
Take care.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thanks.
All right. Cliff.
That's great.
Jack, I thought he was going to get you right off the bat.
Just from talking, I'm like, he knows way more than I
I was a
expected.
little bit like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Thanks, Jim.
But I think Cliff's the only one that got back to us on Twitter. If you guys are watching,
Well, like right away too. Like it was like it went out. And he answered immediately. He's
And-
like, "Yeah,
and
I'm
Cliff-
in."
Cliff's been with us for years too. Cliff and I have we go back. I don't even know. Maybe like since I first got on Twitter. If I'm not mistaken, Cliff is a fellow. He also has Crohn's disease, so we kind of connected that way back in the day. So it was cool to see Cliff, excited to come on, and I would love to have him back on. He was easy to talk to, a good guest.
We do like a 70s, 80s thing. If he comes back on, I get him in the 80s, I'll do the 70s. It's only fair.
I mean, like we could go wherever we want with this. Maybe we get a tag team trivia going. If you ever need a tag team partner,
There you
Jack.
go. Depending on you call us the Mega Powers. Nobody's trademarked that, right?
Like
Hey, Jim, I got one for you. I'm going to steal this from the chat. I want to thank Zach. Why don't you do it with him? Maybe we call you guys the cronies.
Oh my God. So creative. Yep. Good one. Good
I love
one.
it. I think it's great. It's wonderful. I'm a dad, so I love it. I love it.
But this could be like a lot of fun. Like I'm looking forward, and hopefully like more guys come forward and want to give this a shot. And
what's the worst that could happen? Was I a jerk? No. And if you win, you get like a prize.
Yeah, we do have prizes. I think we have decent prizes. We'll give away some of these bad boys, HW hockey golf hats.
Maybe we'll give them like a choice, if they want.
Yeah.
Maybe not big golfers.
We have T-shirts. If you guys still want T-shirts, Torts T-shirts. If you're still big Torts guys,
I'm still hard for Torts, baby.
We're not even going to try to sell them. We'll just give them away now. Free. I mean, who doesn't like a free T-shirt? Whether Torts is on it or not, you know what I'm saying?
Could be a rag. Could be a rag.
And then you never know if somebody does beat Jack, and we'll have you on until you lose. You can win a Michkov jersey. I'll get it right now. We have all kinds of stuff that we can give away here, boys and girls. Book bags, hats, shirts. We'll do some cool stuff.
It's the off season. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a long summer. But I want to say kudos to Cliff for coming on, because he didn't seem nervous. He wasn't nervous at all, man. Yeah,
no.
He came right on and he was ready to beat you right away.
He knows his stuff. He didn't get lucky. He knows his stuff. If anything, he got unlucky with that question about the coach.
I was hoping that, whoever would come on, wouldn't have like stage fright kind of thing. Cause I think if it was me, maybe I would, I'd be a little stage fright. But we could have talked to Cliff all night, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We kind of got into his backstory a little bit. It was great.
Yep. There you go. Win today, walk together forever.
Hell yeah, Cliff. Baby. Fred Shiro. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's all kind of my Jim, real quick. Under my name is kind of a play off of that. I'm joking around where it says tank today, win together eventually. I'm kind of taking that great quote and making it kind of silly because of the BS we've been going through the last couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of years.
That's
big time. All right. So I think if we learned anything for tonight or for next trivia night, maybe we do a category like 70s trivia, draft trivia,
like a Jeopardy, 70s, 80s, 90s kind of.
Yeah, this way maybe the viewer, and once again, kudos to Cliff for just taking the plunge. This way, whoever is thinking about it can say, "Oh, I know all about 80s Flyers, or I know all about the 2010s of Flyers hockey, or whatever it is. I'm a big draft nerd, or whatever." So, yeah, we could do a lot of stuff with this. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, what else do we want to do tonight, Jack? We got a couple minutes left here.
Last thing to talk about.
What's this Roman Vopat in the chat?
I vaguely remember him like a minuscule player with the Flyers. Like,
was that for the bloodied face one?
Yes. That's when it
Roman
came through.
Vopat.
Yep.
Whoa. That's so I would have like that's one of those names where once he was off the Flyers, I never thought of him again.
There's a couple. When I was in the 90s, I remember almost everybody, but he's probably one I kind of forgot. I actually have a stick on my wall over here that I use for my gender reveal. I took a shot, a hockey puck, and it exploded. It's oh god, what the hell's the name of the player? Okay, I'm gonna forget now. I remember my father-in-law telling me this is a game used stick by, and the name I forget the name. But yeah, it's another. I got it. It's on tip of my brain, but I'm gonna mispronounce it. But yeah, it's like one of those guys who's like a splash in the pan. You barely remember him, but for the most part, I remember like the minuscule guys. We used to play that game in line for like a ride. All right, everybody, name your most like least memorable Flyer, and it'd be like Dan Kordick.
Dan Kordick.
Mike or Dan McGillis, who I really liked actually.
So did I.
Who's Trent Klatt? Guys like that. It was fun.
Roman Vopat, man.
That's a good one. If I pulled that one, I mean, I did say Sandy McCarthy. I mean, he was definitely a fighter. I mean, if he's on the roster over Frank the Animal, he must be a little bit better at hockey.
Or maybe you can control McCarthy more than you could by Lois.
The freaking animal.
Dude, you remember the few times that we had him on? Like, there was never a time where we had a guest where I was legitimately afraid of what he was going to say. And Frank was that guy for me. Like, I was like, oh shit, maybe this was a bad idea. Oh shit. I think back then we were just recording shows. I don't think we were doing live shows yet.
Right.
Thank God.
When I had my debates, you're like, don't hit that live button. We don't know what these people are going to say. Don't hit I want to edit this. I want to make sure there's no bad words.
Right.
If anything, it was me saying the bad words. But yeah, I get it. You never know.
Frank said them. So thank God that we did just record back then.
But I want to say real quick, because this is kind of funny. The stick is from Rob DeMeo.
Oh,
that's a game used stick from Rob DeMeo. And Gilbert Dion was on the team with him. That's kind of funny because, and again, 0 goals. 0 goals. DeMeo had 3, and Dion had 20 games, 0 goals, 6 assists. Yikes.
Rob DeMeo. Kevin Dineen, I think, was on that team back then.
Yes, he was. I mean, he might have been the captain until they got rid of him and gave it to Lindros.
Was Dineen actually the captain?
Let me see if I can find it. I thought he was at some time. Gary Galley. Oh my God, brings me back to my early Sega days. Some of that Yushevich. Oh my God, this roster right now. Dave Brown. Dave Brown was a fighter. Hey yo. Dominic Roussel. These were the Hextall's on this team. Okay, it must have been before it was, or no, it was after they got him back. Yannick Dupree. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I'm just gonna look up the Flyers captains.
Do you remember Zarli Zalapsky?
I don't think so. I'd be lying.
So that's like one of the best hockey names of all time, right? And our buddy Travis texts me today and goes, "Hey, guess who we're having on the podcast for Nasty Knuckles?" And I had no idea, so I said Zarli Zalapsky, and he goes, "I don't know who that is," and then he proceeds to tell me who they're having on. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm like, wait a second, you don't know who Zarli Zalapsky is? And he didn't really do anything crazy during the course of his NHL career. I mean, solid offensive defenseman. I don't know how solid for back in the day. He was a 20-goal scorer at one point, 57 and 65 points in back-to-back years. But Zarli Zalapsky is one of the best hockey names of all time. And this kid had no idea. But I'll tell you what, he told me something that I didn't know. He comes back with 0 goals in 12 games. What am I supposed to know about him? And I had no idea that he played for the Flyers, Jack.
No, that name doesn't ring a bell.
He played 12 games for them back in 2000.
2000, really?
99, 2000. Yeah, wow. I had no idea.
This is a name I remember. Valerie Zelebukin. I definitely remember that bed. Peter Nedved from the Rangers. I remember that. Actually, not too familiar with these two names.
Zelebukin. I remember him.
Valerie. And then another Recchi question is like, how did we get Recchi back? And I think there was more involved, but I know it was Dinas Zubris who went in that deal. He is the youngest Flyer he has the to score a goal. Like he even beat Michkov. Like he scored a goal, the youngest Flyer. And I remember going to games and they'd be like, "Who's your favorite player?" I'm like, "John LeClaire." We ran into like these random girls. They were like 12 years old. And like, "Well, who's your favorite player?" "Oh, Zalabu or Dinas Zubris." I'm like, "What? Dinas Zubris? You serious?"
I remember Dinas Zubris, yeah. So here's another name for you from around that time.
Carl
And
Dykehouse.
I don't know why, but like back then, this name was kind of thrown around as like a good prospect for the Flyers. And he did have 49 points in 74 games with the Phantoms. But do you remember Colin Forbes?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, and I think I was just too young to know any better, but I'm like, oh, Colin Forbes got called up. This guy's good. Like this kid's going to be really good. And he just was not.
It was either him or Kordic that got into a fight and were bleeding profusely. I remember. And Chris Fiore here, Billy Tippett's, I do remember because of the issues he had. Like he got like arrested and all this crap. And he was just a freaking troublemaker. I don't actually remember watching him play, but I remember him being a part of the organization.
Yeah, I mean, we could do this all night, and
I really could. It's bad.
Here's something that I'm just finding though, real quick. In the 1994 NHL draft, Jack. Well, maybe this could be a trivia question.
No, you just sent it to everybody. You gotta.
All right.
Is it a draft? It's a draft question.
Yeah, and maybe the Flyers traded this pick, but do you know the original team to draft Artem Anisimov?
Well, it wasn't the Rangers.
No, I mean this, according to Hockey DB,
was the Flyers.
Says that it was the Philadelphia Flyers. Oh wait, is this the wrong Artem Anisimov?
I was gonna say he'd be pretty old.
There are two Artem Anisimovs apparently. This one plays defense, and he's 48 years old. So
I was going to say,
because I'm like, wait a second, Artem Anisimov.
Yeah.
All right. This is going back to when the Flyers never had first round picks.
Well, if you look at I think it was the 91, 92 draft, there's a significant player they skipped on.
In the 91 or 92?
Yeah, we took Ricci. And a Yamir Yager was available. But back then, my understanding is there was issues with guys coming over, whether they thought they were going to do it or not. And, we got Forsberg at 6. And a lot of teams were like, yo, that's a reach. And we're like, whatever, we're probably going to trade it. Their mindset was to trade the guy because he wasn't sure if he was going to come over. That was more the reason why they chose him over Brind'Amour in that Lindros trade. Like, we don't even know if he's going to come over. And it was so much uncertainty back then than there is today. I'm sure the communication was very minimal, so the more you know.
Yep. We have here's a name, and Eric, we appreciate the attempt here and the spelling, but wasn't Damon Lanko formerly known as Damon Lankow?
I knew him as Lankow.
Yeah. And then somewhere along the way, he decided, hey,
okay, Freddie, hold on. Okay, Freddie Galvis.
Yeah.
Stop. This is for your Freddie Galvis. Sorry. The train is gone. Left the station, pal. You're Damon Lankow. You're Freddie Galvis. Nice try. Sorry.
I don't understand. Like, at what point are you like, you know what? You're saying my name wrong.
Yeah, I guess when the media gets in front of you, got a team that has Leclaire, Renberg, Brind'Amour, Lindros, Desjardins, Hextall. Like the odds of you getting to talk back then, especially, are going to be pretty slim.
Damon Lank. I really do.
I'll never call him that. I can't. Come on, man. I'm going to be this November. I'm going to be 38 years old, for God's sake. There's no chance he is Damon Lankow. End of story.
So he was a guy that I remember being not happy that the Flyers moved on from, because I liked him as a Flyer. And he
apparently, I could be wrong. I could be wrong here, but I think he was being bullied by like Therrien.
Oh,
Therrien,
really?
Yeah. It was either Damon Lankow or might have been both. Trying to remember. I said the guy's name earlier. I can't remember who it was now. He might have been one of his victims. But yeah, I remember him like going on a scoring run. Like, he has some skill.
Yeah. Okay. Let's Sorry, Jack, I got to wrap this episode up here. I may have a family emergency.
Jesus Christ.
But
Okay.
great episode. We'll be back next week. I want to thank Cliff. Jack, congratulations. You're officially 1-0. And we'll be back hopefully next week with another trivia segment. So thanks everyone for watching. It's going to do it for this episode. I'll talk to you all next week.
Godspeed.